I want to talk in this video about the importance in the engineering field of having real hands-on experience. So I'm Sean. I'm the owner and lead tutor at MassSwap Tutoring. And if you know anything about me, you know that I am an engineer as far as like my background, electrical engineering. I have 2 degrees as well as over 14 years of experience. Now, if you don't know what this is, I'll tell you. This is a digital multimeter, a DMM for short. That's what we used to call in my old job. I just turned it on here, and the purpose of a digital multimeter is to essentially test out, um, different quantities of different types. It helps you to troubleshoot, which I believe is like a key word for an engineer. So basically, it helps you to measure voltages, currents. It helps you to test diodes, capacitors. All this is like electrical and electrical engineering kind of stuff. Now, the reason why I just got this, but I'm very used to using these from my previous engineering job. Um, but my amplifier in my car went out. I'm one who likes to listen to music with the low. I really like low end. I like bass drops and stuff like that. Always have. But anyway, I've had an amplifier in my car for a while, and it just stopped working. I got a new album. I'm a fan of rap, and I bought the Clips album that recently came out because I've been a longtime Clips fan, and it has a lot of low end. I was listening to my CD, and then the bass went out, and so I was like, "What's going on?" I Check this out. So I called the people who installed my amplifier, and my amplifier, since it was installed a little over 2 years ago, is outside of warranty. So for them to look at my amplifier would cost me $150. So I was like, nah, man, forget it. Then I thought, I'm a whole electrical electronics engineer. I'm an engineer. Why can't I go back and look and see what in the world is going on? And so I know some engineering acquaintances of mine that have owned their own DMMs, and but I just haven't. I just never got around to it. But I'm used to troubleshooting. This is what I do. And so I went and bought this. This was a cheap version. This only like about between $7 and $8. And so I went and took some measurements of voltages in my amplifier. Okay. And so here's the deal. With the amplifier, you have various inputs and outputs. The main ones, I'm not gonna go into all the details, but the main ones are you have 12 volts going into the amplifier from the car battery. You also have a signal from the car radio going into the amplifier as well. That's a signal that's going to be amplified. Then, of course, you have outputs being output to the speaker or speakers. In my case, a subwoofer, an output to a subwoofer. Um, the amplified signal, if you will. And I knew that whatever the issue is with my amplifier has to do with the power going in, because like literally the amplifier was not turning on. I first replaced a couple of fuses in the amplifier, and that didn't do anything. And so then I also was made aware of the fuse that's between the battery, and I'm getting somewhere. The battery between the battery and the amplifier itself, so it's under the hood. It didn't appear to be blown, but anyhow, I went and measured voltages at the amplifier, and even when the car is off, you're supposed to see like a steady 12 volts um at the battery. And there was or somewhere around there, and there was none. Um so I say all that to say my amplifier came back on the other day, and I'm thinking it's maybe like something that need to be tightened on the amplifier side, I believe. However, here's the point I want to make. If I'm a whole engineer and I feel nervous to troubleshoot electronics, I mean, I learned all the theory behind it. I believe that should say something. Now, thankfully, my engineering job taught me a lot of practical experience with troubleshooting, which is what I believe the main thing an engineer does. But here's the point I want to make. I think a lot of what we do in the STEM world, as far as like showing people how to do different things, build things, and whatnot, I believe a lot of that stuff is good. But I think that the best thing that you can do to really prepare to be an engineer is to learn how to think the way an engineer thinks. The crux of what engineers do is solving real world problems with math and science. Okay. You using the tools that are available in this world to solve problems, okay, of various kinds. And a lot of what that involves for an engineer is you have to be able to look at an issue. You have to be able to like really, really pinpoint, okay, where is the actual issue? Why is that issue happening? That's called troubleshooting. And it's great to build something from a kit and whatnot. It's great to do those kind of things. And that gives you a level of experience that's akin to engineering. However, engineers don't necessarily just build stuff. Like they don't necessarily build something per se from um, like from a kit per se. I mean, they may, but that's not the main thing that we do. The main thing that we do is discover where issues are coming from. We solve problems. So it might be like, okay, I built this thing, but it's not working. Or I have this problem I need to solve. How do I solve this problem? And you have to be able to diagnose and then solve it. When you go to engineering school, if you're watching this and you plan on being an engineer, even a programmer or something like that, a lot of what you do is going to be theory and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to teach you definitely a good bit of how to think in engineering school, in computer science school, or whatever kind of STEM area that you're involved in. Even if you're involved in a science, that kind of will push you more so into like the medical field or whatever, even that. But the best kind of experience you can get is experience that allows you to diagnose and troubleshoot issues, problems. That's really the best experiences you can have. Building something from a kit is cool, but you need to be able to figure out how to solve a problem. You need to be able to like create a computer program that does something, okay? That solves some sort of issue. You need to be able to like if you're going into electronics, you need to be able to diagnose some sort of issue and be able to pinpoint, okay, this is where that issue is coming from, because you have the knowledge to kind of find that issue, replace that, and then there you go. That's what engineers more so do. Okay. I just wanted to say that because as an electronics engineer, and I actually have a good bit of experience, but I still have found myself in my outside life sometimes kind of feeling like I just hire somebody to do this or pay for it. Um, but the practical experience helps. So always understand engineers are problem solvers, and you got to be able to like be you had to be an engineer or to be in a similar kind of field. You have to be able to and willing and confident enough to actually solve problems. So hopefully, what I was trying to convey in this video helps. If you really want to get experience, you want to try to do stuff that help you to solve issues, okay? Build something or troubleshoot something, um, that type of deal, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments, all right? Hey, thank you for watching this video. If you need math tutoring or you need SAT math help, look in the description to find out how you can sign up today. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you stay in touch with Math Swap Tutoring on YouTube. Have a good one.